Welcome to lesson 5. We're going to dive straight in. Let's go straight into object mode. Deselect the mesh. We're going to press Shift A, bring in a cylinder. This is going to be for the teeth, the mouth. We want to go into edit mode straight away and then scale that down with S. You then, if you want to, you can either press G and Z or scale and Z scale and Z it on the Z axis to get it down. And you can press G and Z to move it along. If you'd prefer, you could use the gizmo, that's on the left hand side, and you can use that to rotate it along. We're going to keep it dead in the center so we don't have to move it on the X axis in this video. We are just going to place it firmly just behind the lips, and we will come back to that later on to edit the teeth. I press Alt Z for the X-ray vision, and then I'm just going to push back a little bit of the mouth to see the teeth. I did come back to the eyes. I'm forever always coming back to the eyes because I never liked the way they look. Since this is such an important feature for your avatar, I have already spent hours and hours on this. It will take you, if you're fairly new to this, it will take you a very long time to have a look at some references and learn how to do the eyes. They come in all different sizes and shapes. I've tried to make them look feminine as possible. It is difficult, but I'm hopefully giving it a few rundown touches, and now we're going to add in the eyebrows. So let's press go into object mode, and let's bring in a plane mesh. We're going to scale that down, move it along the y-axis, rotate it on the x-axis 90 degrees, and then place that back into the center of the head. So I've noticed that I was using object mode to move this. That's not a problem. We will be mirroring this, but we will reset our transforms on it before we mirror this. So let's scale that down first on scale, and then place that firmly in front of the head, center in the middle. This is a good starting point to use for eyebrows, as we will delete a couple of planes in the middle as we will extend these eyebrows. So we want to go onto the snapping tool at the top, click the drop down arrow and go onto face project and select align rotation to target. Now this will help when we're extruding in edit mode. So we're going to edit mode and we're going to select the edge and we're going to extrude along for the eyebrows. So as you can see, we are going along the edge of the eyebrows, and we'll firmly put them in place, making sure it is best proportion and in line as best as possible. We'll remove the two center bits of the plane so it doesn't look like a monobrow, and then we will add a few modifiers to it. The first one, we're going to add the mirror, so it will mirror across. If it doesn't mirror across for you, just make sure the origin point is set on the 0 on the X, Y and Z axes. That's by pressing Ctrl A and resetting all transforms. And once you've done this, just place that nicely. We'll go back into object mode. We will select now the solidifier modifier, and we'll give a bit of depth to the eyebrows now with the solidifier. We will increase the offset, play around with the thickness. We do want the thickness of the eyebrows really thick. If you're 3D printing or modeling for later purposes, it's always good to make sure you get the detail in your avatar as much as possible. This is so when it does print out, it doesn't fall off. Or if it's just for digital viewing purposes, then that is absolutely fine. We will also add the subdivision surface modifier. We will up the viewport and the render both to 3 just in a moment. Oh yeah, make sure you turn the snapping tool off, and and then we can replace that better if you need to when editing the eyebrows. There we go. So after we have done that, we will more than likely come back to them later to finish them off. We do want to keep them nice and thick for now, since they'll be easier to sculpt as well. Sometimes it will help if we go down to edge data on the solidify modifier, and you might want to increase the edges to say somewhere like 0.3. This will keep it nice and flat up against the mesh, and it will make it look nice, just like you see there. So now I'm just fast forward and just editing this nice and quickly, and then what we're going to do after this is we will duplicate this and we will use it for the top eyelashes and the bottom eyelashes as well. As you can see, I'm forever making mistakes, always pressing Ctrl Z to undo, and then editing this in edit mode or sculpt mode. It's really a preference, up to you. I tried using sculpt mode to edit to push it up against the mesh. Once you've done this, I've noticed I would actually use the pinch tool, maybe just to pinch the edges in to make it a bit sharper. I'll come back to that later and do that. So when we go into object mode, going to select the eye brushes, the eyebrows, and then we are going to duplicate it by pressing Shift D, and then going to edit mode, and then bringing them down, and we will then use them for the top eyelashes, and again same process as the eyebrows. We will then try and put them into place. You could either use the sculpt brush tool, or you can use it in edit mode. Since we haven't applied any of the modifiers, it should be nice and easy just to grab the vertices and place them onto the upper eyelid, and then we will turn these into the eyelashes later on. We may even give a bit more thickness to this so the eyelashes will stand out and make them stick out a bit more. But for now, we'll just place them, put them in place, and just align them with the eyes. So I'm just using the grab brush now and just pushing it into place like so. And then when you're happy with that, all you have to do is then grab the top of your eyelashes and then duplicate it again, bring it down for the bottom eyelid, and then use the eyelashes for and then create your eyelashes on the bottom eyelid. So I keep on going back over, making sure it looks good for now. So let's go into object mode, duplicate that again, leave it where it is, go to edit mode, and then bring it down. We will rotate that 180 degrees on the Z axis. Nope, sorry, on the Y axis, because we want it rotated in the right way, and then we're going to rotate that again on the Z axis just to sort of line up the center there, as you see, and then same again, we will place that nicely onto the bottom of the eyelash. Okay, so that's a lot to cover through this lesson. I hope it's not too overwhelming. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, of course. So as you can see here, I've pressed Alt Z and gone into X-ray mode, and I can see whilst I'm just adjusting the bottom bit of the eyelashes, I'll keep these nice and thick, and then I might increase the thickness and edit that in a bit later to turn them into eyelashes. Well, that's everything for this lesson, and I'll see you in the next one.